Your beloved Trailblazers getting a big road victory, 127-113 in the ATL.
Still mathematically alive. 3.5 out with 6 to go.
No, they're not. That's over.
So stupid.
The math, if the math is less than 2%, that's not real math. That's fake math that we're saying mathematically still alive. No, it's over. It's done. But they get a win nonetheless.
The problem is they're going to pass the Suns. That's the problem.
The Spurs lost last night to the Magic.
You're not catching them.
Nope, that ship has sailed, basically.
You're probably about where you're going to end up because Chicago is just going to keep going up and down. They're going to win, they're going to lose.
Well, they're in the play-in, so they're actually trying to tune up.
Yeah, right.
Same thing with the Heat.
But the Blazers win. Shaedon Sharpe has 33 points last night. He's a plus 23.
It doesn't matter.
Had
Doesn't matter. None of it matters.
10 rebounds.
None of it matters.
Have another hot dog.
Right, yeah. None of it matters.
Shove that down the hole.
None of it matters. Why don't you get to your dog poop analogy? Because that's what this organization is.
I don't eat the wiener.
Swag lost it when he said that.
I don't eat the
That
wiener.
one just came out of nowhere.
Just had a total left field.
I told Swag we couldn't have paid.
No,
No.
and the
scripted
delivery
that
was
better.
great. He
It was
took
perfect.
that little
He did.
Will Shatner pause.
He totally got the show in the moment. I was
Yep.
like, I wonder if this question's going to sit with him or he's going to go, I don't know.
What the hell are you guys talking about eating hot dogs at 7 o'clock in the morning? What's the
delivers
matter
this.
with you?
I don't eat the wiener.
He made that abundantly clear.
I mean, you could have said, hey, we'll Venmo you $20 before you bring. We're going to ask you about eating hot dogs.
You
Can
need
you
to
say
send
something
that boy
funny?
some Pelicans.
I mean, send that guy something, man. Get him something.
No, so I'm going on a walk the other day. This was 2 days ago. So they hadn't beaten the Hawks yet. And it was their off game. I'm going on a dog walk, and I'm just thinking of all kinds of... I'm always thinking about the show. I'm thinking of different sports things. I'm thinking about beloved Blazers. I'm like, what have we done, Blazers, in the last week or so that isn't just the obvious, like, oh, well, the tank, no tank. And I tend to lean that, like, I don't think most people care about the wins. So, like, talking about how they won also is not something that's particularly interesting to people.
No, because it doesn't mean anything.
We know Denny's been great.
Yes.
His contract's really good.
He's got a really good contract.
It's team friendly.
I've said this for 2 weeks now. This guy, we got to get this guy out of the lineup.
I don't know if you've
He's
heard
too
this
good.
term.
Get him out.
De-escalating contract.
It goes down.
It goes
You're
down.
saving money as the time goes on. Get him the hell out of the lineup.
Also,
it's becoming a problem.
In case you don't know, Tamani Kamara can play defense, and he's been good this year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I was thinking, because we had I can't remember what it was, but we were basically asking, we brought Dylan Harper up.
Yes.
Dylan Harper is going to be probably the 2 pick in the draft. He's declared already. He gone. And if the lottery gods bless us, they're not going to bless us with 1. They're going to bless us within the top 3 or 4. Okay? That's what our blessing will be. Statistically speaking, we're not probably getting 1, but in the 2, 3, 4 range, boy, that'd be great.
Yeah. The odds of 2, 3, 4 took a massive hit last night.
And
but I digress.
I cited a Blazer Edge article that said if Dylan Harper's 2 and you're 2, you take Dylan Harper and you don't worry about Scoot and you say bye-bye Scoot. And I started thinking about that and I'm like, what's the take? And then like Scoot, Shaedon. Kind of like what's going to be our takeaways of year 3 for Shaedon, year 2 for Scoot, how we feel about the future with 2 of these picks. In the Cronin era, you've got Scoot, Shea, Klingon.
Yep. Those are your 3 top 10 picks.
Those are your 3 picks in the Cronin era. And so while I also find people comical that tell me, they move off of Scoot, no problem. In the same breath, you're telling me the guy who took him 3 made a massive mistake, but you also trust the guy to take the next pick in the top. It's just a weird
This
world.
time it'll be different.
Yeah, you can't swing and hit on all of them.
This time it'll work out.
I don't know where they'll go, but one thing I had a takeaway on is Shaedon at this point, believe it or not, should still be looked at with all of the upside. No matter what you think of his ceiling and what that is, baby Kobe or not, it's interesting to think about Shaedon Sharpe because it's his 3rd year of basketball. Quite literally.
Yeah.
High school, who cares? Most of these dudes all these dudes were elite in high school. He didn't play a lick of college.
Nope.
So, like, year 2, he gets hurt. He plays, 31 games?
He played 32 games last year.
It's his 2.5 season of basketball. Like real organized basketball. Because I would venture to say when he played at high school, wherever he played, he probably just hey, Shaden, here's
Yeah,
the ball.
here's
Go
the
be
ball.
great.
Do your thing.
Go
Yeah.
dominate, and he dominated every game.
There was probably no real massive structure because if I coached him in high school, I wouldn't have a million plays. I'd
No.
be like, let's give Shaden the ball.
You want
Get
a
him out
ball
of the way.
screen or you want an ISO?
Throw it up. He'll catch it.
Yeah.
That's the offense. So it's just
Playing
it's-
against guys like me.
I'm picking up dog crap, and I'm starting to, for some reason, feel optimistic. I don't know if they'll draft Edgecombe. Maybe they're fifth. Do they draft VJ Edgecombe? Because they're quite literally the same player. One's just slightly younger now.
Yeah, I love how in your mind head too is that we're going up in the draft lottery with the 9th best odds. That
I was
if we
just
end up
thinking
with the 5th overall
hypothetically,
pick,
what
sure.
would happen if we moved up? You've got Harper, you've got Edgecombe. Both players we've seen in the tournament.
Yeah.
Well, one player we saw in the tournament, the other player we watched all season long
All
on
season
a
long.
mediocre Rutgers team.
He was really good.
But he was the only good thing about it, him and Ace Bailey.
Yep.
And there's just a world that exists where we don't win the flag sweepstakes, but do we win the Harper Edgecombe sweepstakes? And you can say, Sprague, you just take the best player and you figure it out. And I don't disagree with it. But you also have to acknowledge it's very odd because you draft Edgecombe, he is Shaden's position.
Yeah, it's the
There's
same
no
thing.
ifs, ands, or buts about it.
It's the same thing.
You draft Harper, that's Scoot's position. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You want to try to sell this fan base on another backcourt that's like, what is Harper, 6'5"?
Yeah, it sounds
6'4"?
right. That sounds right.
Slightly taller, but small backcourt. You want to sell this fan base on that again? My good lucks to you, sir, in that organization. You're in a position where you might have to draft replacements already, which it's very weird to think about it, but this is only year 2.5 for Shaden.
Yeah, the NBA draft website I just pulled up has him listed at 6'6", 215.
That's
Dylan
right,
Harper.
slightly bigger.
6'6", 215.
So maybe you
slightly
tell
bigger.
yourself, we're good because he's 6'6",
Well-
and I'm like, well, he needs the ball. What's Scoot going to do?
The funny thing about this entire analogy is you're ruling out the other guy who they just have refused to trade, and at this point I am assuming he's going to play every game of his career in a Blazer uniform, and that's Anthony Simons. Is he still on the team next year? Are we ever going to trade
well,
him?
he
Or are we
needs
gonna
to be
have-
traded or you give him an extension is kind of where you're at.
Let's
so.
draft Dylan Harper, keep Scoot, keep Shaden, and give Anthony Simons an extension. This sounds like a wonderful offseason that I now think is probably going to happen if they move up in the draft. Like, look, the point on Shaden Sharp is not wrong. He still has a ton of upside. He is in his 3rd year of professional basketball. He is only 21 years old. I think, or maybe just turned, or he's about to turn 22. I think he turns 22 in May. So by the time the season wraps up, he'll basically be 22 years old. Still incredibly young. I don't know if there's enough there to make you, and this is true with Scoot as well, that tells me that you're not going to draft a certain player because you have Shaden Sharp or Scoot Henderson on your team. And that is why I think all of this has been so frustrating throughout the course of the year. He's played 68 games this year. It's great that he's played 68 games. Last year was only 32. He's only started 48 of them.
Mm-hmm.
His minutes per game are down in year 3 from where they were in year 2. He's playing fewer minutes and gotten fewer percentage of starts.
More of a
in
sample
year
size in year 3 than 2 because
Sure,
of the game.
because he's played more games, no doubt about it. He's also shooting 30% from 3.
Yeah, he's had a bad year from 3, no
So
doubt. He was
the-
3 of 10 last night.
Points per game are up. I love that he's getting to the foul line a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
There's little positives. His field goal percentage is up from where it was last year. Like, there's little things that you can pick and point and lean on. He's a shooting guard who's shooting 30% from 3.
Yeah.
And so there's not, neither of these guys have shown me enough to say I refuse to take insert player here in the draft.
I'm not saying you refuse, but what
Right.
do you do? Because you're going to trade Scoot?
I mean, I would hope that Anthony Simons would no longer be on the team. You're already bringing Scoot off the bench. You've brought Shaden off the bench for the majority of his year this year.
Harper, don't let anybody, don't let a single human being that exists breathing oxygen try to tell you that Dylan Harper should be starting off the bench. Dylan Harper should be starting for any team that picks him next
So
year.
should Shaden. So should Scoot. Scoot was a top
Well-
3 pick in the NBA draft. And they started
Yes.
him to begin his NBA career. And then in his second year in the NBA, they're bringing him off the bench.
I don't disagree with you, but even if you believe in the theory of just take the best player, and I do, I'm one of those people, I was wondering how much growth Shaden can take, given this is only his 2.5 season of actual organized basketball in his life.
Mhm.
Also, if you fall and Edgecombe is at your spot, I mean, he's supposed to be an elite wing, so
Supposed to be an elite wing.
you draft him, then what do you? Then Edgecombe is just your 5th pick in the draft that's coming off the bench.
I mean, that's what they've done the last 2 years with their top 10 picks, so he would fit right into the mold.
Boy, it's fascinating.
Donovan Clingan was the 7th overall pick. He couldn't play more than 12 minutes a game for the first 3
He's our
months of the year.
third-string center.
3rd-string center to begin the year. So I think if they bring these guys off the bench who they draft in the top 10, it would fit right in with the vision and what they've had the last couple of years. That's an unclear picture that doesn't make any sense. And last night was a night for me where I get that debate gets tiring and the winning and the losing, and I understand it. These ones are inexcusable. They're inexcusable. To continue to play Denny Avdia late in the season when you know he's on a tear and he's going to help you win a couple of more games.
Your coach don't want to lose games anymore.
It doesn't matter. You have.
I mean, it does.
You're
He's the guy making the
fire him
decisions.
then. Fire him then.
They're not going to.
Then why won't they?
Because they're not the Grizzlies.
Exactly. They don't care long term. These are inexcusable, man. These games literally don't matter. You know what? There's a big jump in percentage odds. The 9th worst team to the 8th worst team. There's a massive jump in top 4 odds. And you can basically kiss any chance of that goodbye after winning that game last night and San Antonio losing. For what reason? I'm going to ask the question this summer. I'm going to mark it in my calendar for a random show in July.
You need to wait for the lottery odds.
And I'm going to say, hey, who do they beat with 7 games to go in the regular season? You remember who they beat? You remember who played well in that game? Nobody's going to have an answer for me because none of this matters. None of this matters. What matters is a superstar player, and you have a better chance of getting one in the top 4, and you can basically kiss those odds goodbye.